Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are diving into another exciting topic with Susie Nelson-Smith, crystal healing. I've been loving and working with crystals since I'm a little child, and I'm beyond excited to have Susie here today to talk all about crystals here. For thousands of years, crystals have been used in the world, but it's only now that many people experience and discover their true potential. Susie has been working with crystals for decades and she has so much experience, and I'm very excited for us today to learn from her. Susie, how did you discover crystals and what drew you towards them?
You know, it was a surprise to me because it was all of a sudden about maybe 34 years ago, I just started to collect crystals and I started to do exhibitions in yoga studios. And I was loving it and people were loving what I was sharing. And then I thought, I better know what I'm talking about. And so I went to a friend of mine who had the most beautiful crystal shop in Sydney, in Nurses Walk in the Rocks, down near the harbour. It's the most glorious crystal shop. And when I was visiting her, she said, why don't you go to my friend in Hawaii, Katrina Raphael? So I did. And I flew over to Hawaii over a 2-year period to train with Katrina Raphael, who was very much a pioneer back in the 80s and the 90s with crystal healing. And I studied with Katrina and became one of her first teachers to graduate in 1995.
Wow.
And yeah, it was it was an amazing journey for me. And so I didn't learn about crystals as a child, it was as an adult. And it was very much an immediate interest that just seemed to develop overnight. And I felt as if I'd found a real pathway in life towards understanding myself, but also having a stronger connection to spirit. So that's how I began. And as I'd been a CEO of a training centre for long-term unemployed people, especially disadvantaged, and I've got a couple of degrees, and all of that really held me in good stead to be able to write curricula. So I started writing my courses and straight away started teaching because that felt very natural and organic to me, to really want to share my enthusiasm, my excitement, you know what that's like with crystals,
Yes,
and
definitely.
share it with those that were interested. So I've been teaching crystal healing now for over 30 years. And I think I'm even more passionate about working with the mineral kingdom now than I was even then, because I've just accumulated so many experiences and see them work so effectively for a whole range of issues. So that's how I began.
Amazing, so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Oh, thank you, Diane.
For someone who sees crystals as a beautiful thing, just a beautiful stone, how would you describe what a crystal really is, how a crystal works, and what crystal healing is?
Well, I think first of all, they are a thing of beauty. That is immediately grabs the eye, and doesn't the world need more beautiful things and a greater appreciation of what nature gives us? And I've got a couple of little crystals here. This is an apophyllite, this is a selenite wand, and this is kyanite. And there may be more beautiful crystals, there certainly are, but these are also beautiful crystals. So I think every crystal has its own unique beauty. And I think that's a very good place to start when you start getting interested in crystals. So how I would explain how to use a crystal for benefit of yourself and your family is to choose one that attracts you. So that might be beauty, might be colour, or you may feel the energy of the crystal. So a good way to begin to feel the subtle energy of crystal is I'd suggest you rub your hands together, separate the hands, and these secondary chakras in the center of the palm of the hand, you can feel the energy going from one palm to the other. If you lose it, just make the friction again with your hands, separate them, and then feel like an elastic band. And when you feel that you can feel an energy, then you know you have felt subtle energy. So then you know what it feels like. So pick up a crystal, and then do you feel a subtle energy from that crystal? If you do, you can know, okay, that crystal is talking to me and I'm resonating with that crystal. So why does that happen? And one of the reasons that it happens is that we are very crystalline inside our body. Our endocrine system, our eyes, our ears, our bones, we are very crystalline in our physical makeup. And so when we feel a crystal, we can feel a familiarity with that energy, and it can bring a great deal just of comfort, if nothing else, to hold a crystal that you resonate with. Now, the crystals have a wide range of properties, and one of my favorite books is by Nyasha Ashiyan and Robert Preston, and they have written the Book of Stones. So this is a wonderful book, and inside the book you'll see qualities of a whole range of stones from a spiritual perspective, a mental perspective, emotional perspective, physical perspective, and also Nyasha gives a little affirmation that you can work with. So this is one of our power sources when we work with crystals, is to work with an intention with the crystal, because we know that crystal, particularly quartz crystal, magnifies and amplifies energy. It also transmutes energy, so that means it changes it from one type of energy to another, and it transmits energy. And that's why they're used in modern medical equipment, they're used in mobile phones, computers. Now they man-make crystals duplicating what nature has created over millennia. So now we use artificial crystals in all of those medical and modern technology. I mean, it's just incredible when I think about it. We wouldn't have modern technology without the crystal.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
So, you know, when we think about that, we can start to get a scientific understanding of why crystals are so powerful to use. And it's because they have a very stable inner matrix. So when you look inside a crystal, they have regular repeating patterns, and this gives them stability. So when we harness that stable energy force, it's giving that to us as well.
Such a beautiful explanation. I think everybody will feel very inspired by now to work with those gifts of Mother Earth. And I just love how you bring the magic and the science together here.
Yes, and that's what it's all about. I think that's the future of blending science with spirituality, blending science with complementary medicine, and blending allopathic medicine with traditional medicine. I think that's the way forward.
Yeah. Including everything. So beautiful. So you're also a sound healer. And what is your experience? Why do sound healing and crystal healing work so beautifully together?
Because they're made from the same material. These gorgeous alchemy bowls, which I exclusively work with crystal tones alchemy bowls, as I know you do. And why do I do that? It's because they're the best, and they also have an integrity in their makeup. So all of the alchemy bowls have quartz as their base, and then precious stones, gemstones, precious metal, sacred earth are blended with the quartz to make these actually absolutely beautiful musical instruments. And I remember, oh gosh, it was way back in 1997, a friend phoned me and said, I've just seen a paragraph in a magazine that says they're now making a round bowl out of crystal and you play it as a musical instrument. Well, I can't tell you, I was beside myself. I was so excited.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I've been working with crystals for a number of years and now I could play it as a musical instrument.
Yeah.
Well, that started my journey with crystal bowls. And I've always integrated the two in various ways. And crystal sound has, with crystal tones bowls, have been just a companion through decades of my life now. And when I teach crystal sound therapy, I'm also using a range of crystals on the body. And when I'm doing a crystal healing course, I'm also incorporating crystal bowl sound into that therapy. So blending crystals with other modalities is so easy. That's one of the superpowers, I think, of crystal sound with the alchemy crystal bowls, is that you can blend them in a doctor, psychotherapist. These are people that have bought crystals from me to be able to use in their centers. Also yoga teachers. It's just so many are doing their meditation with crystal bowls, and people are getting such a benefit from having the sound incorporated into yoga. And many others like aromatherapy and massage, to do a before and an after, being able to use a practitioner bowl to balance the chakras, for example, before you do a massage. If you're an osteopath, a chiropractor, restoring the balance of the chakras with either a practitioner bowl or a small alchemy bowl really makes it so much easier to do the adjustments after you've done a little crystal sound, quick check up the center line and balancing out the chakras. So crystal sound can be applied to so many other modalities, and it shines as a centerpiece, of course. They stand alone. They are just so beautiful, and they're known as a true medicine for the 21st century. And I think it's helping us move forward as we move into the Aquarian age. It's helping us raise our consciousness, raise our vibration. And there's so many more crystal sound therapists in the world that I think that will increase. And also people having their own bowls at home to be able to play for themselves, for their own well-being, play for their family, play for the children, help everybody sleep well. There's so many applications that I think crystal bowls, crystal singing bowls, particularly the alchemy ones, are leading the way forward into the Aquarian age.
Beautifully said. And I totally agree. You can use the alchemy bowls for so many other modalities. I've been teaching yoga myself for over 10 years, and I still love to teach yin and restorative yoga with the bowls. It's amazing. It's such a deep healing and transformative experience for my clients.
Yes.
And I have a lot of yoga teachers and coaches myself coming to the trainings and integrating the alchemy bowls afterwards into their work. So it makes so much sense to give people that moment of de-stress, of really connecting to themselves, especially when using other healing modalities like yoga or coaching. And using the sound with the crystals is just astonishing. It gives another level of depthness.
It does.
It just gives so such a profound and subtle energy that you have to experience to really feel it and to know and to fully understand what that is like.
Yeah, they're calling us, basically, you know, and if you hear the call, and more people are hearing that call, and it's the same with our crystals. You know, most people I talk to have got one or two, several crystals at home. Children can guide us in this way because children absolutely love crystals and are real collectors. Well, I think we can learn from our children, and they can feel the energy so easily because they haven't been weighed down by life's experiences. So they're a pure source of energy, which is what the crystals are. So they're so attracted to them. And people like yourself have continued with your love of crystals into your adult life. And
now they're a little bit bigger
than
they were when I was a child, but they are still there and very present.
Yes, yeah. It's wonderful to have some very large crystals.
Yes,
yeah,
it is. So, Susie, you have worked with so many people over the past years. Can you share one or two experiences that really touched you with crystal healing?
Oh my word, let me think. Okay, I had a beautiful lady came to me and said that she had had an abject fear that had been present with her since she was a little girl, and that was that none of her children would live beyond the age of 12. And she asked, could we do a crystal healing on that, which we did. It was a very long session, took about 3 hours. And what we did, because it happened naturally, it's not something I imposed, it was a natural process in the crystal healing. We traveled on a timeline and found that over several lives, in fact there was 4 lives that came forward, she had lost her children. And so through crystal healing techniques, she was able to go back in her mind, in her conscious self, with her wisest companion, her divine self, and she was able to comfort herself in those lives and resolve the feeling that had traveled through the timeline to present time. So it took time to do that with 4 different lives. And when she came out of that session, she was stress-free from that overriding pattern of fear that she had had all her life. She has now had 4 children. At the time, she had 3, and the eldest was 10. So that was a very profound experience. I'll just tell you another crystal healing one. I had a lovely young woman came to me, and she was looking to have a divorce, and her ex-husband was not signing the papers, and this had been going on for about 18 months, and she really needed those papers to be signed because she had some other private stuff that needed that to be finished before she could move ahead. So it was a very interesting session. It took about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So what happened in that session is that she had a ball of rage, of anger, of rage. She was so frustrated with this situation of the from the other side of the marriage. So what came naturally, and I always go with the flow of the client, and because we've linked energetically at a soul level, and we become one in the advanced crystal healing, our energies actually combine as one. And she took that rage as a ball, and she threw it into the center of the cosmos, where it exploded.
Wow.
And diffused into not even dust. It became nothing. And the release from her belly from doing that was immense. So she came out of that, felt fantastic, felt great. We finished the session. The next morning she phoned me, and her ex-husband was in England, she was in Australia. And at the time that she threw the ball of light and it exploded, was 10 a.m. in UK time, and her ex-husband had gone in and had signed the papers just after that time, after she had released that.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
that was two very different sessions, and they had excellent results.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, you're
So
welcome.
inspiring.
Yes.
So inspiring.
Yeah. So teaching the advanced work in crystal healing is a great love of mine, but it takes steps to get to it. And one of the reasons why it takes those steps is that we are actually training the intuition. We're training the intuition to become more of a divine intuition. And that takes time.
Yes.
You know, it's not something you can learn in a weekend. You need to take the steps, and it's so worthwhile to be able to do that very deep transformative work. However, you can have a great transformation in the simpler sessions as well, as we found out at the weekend when we were doing chakra balance and alignment. Just a very simple process. And these are also very, very powerful.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were. Yeah. It's amazing how much you can do and how much you can heal and transform and create your own life with the use of those tools who have always been around.
Yes.
They have always been around. As I said before, they are a true gift of Mother Earth, and they're just here to help and support and to heal and transform.
And Olivia, I think that's why they've come forward at this time to assist us in the raising of our consciousness.
100%.
And so they're serving a purpose to help us, and we're serving a purpose to be able to harness that energy for the benefit of ourselves, our family, our community. And there's big projects that you can do with crystals as well about programming for world peace. You know, you can put a little round, what would you call it? A little round atlas, or a picture of an atlas, or a little world, a little tiny world, onto a cluster of quartz and program it for peace. So why would you put it on a cluster, a quartz cluster? Because a quartz cluster represents community. All those little generators are growing on the same matrix. And so to put a little round world onto a quartz cluster or a map of the world and program it for peace, it can be like a beacon of light, a portal. And so you could have that in your home, peace for your family, your community, and send it further afield out around the world. So there's lots of applications.
Just imagine everybody listening to this would do this.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Amazing.
Yeah,
so we would have a lot of peace around.
Yes, and we could actually take positive action and know that we can make a difference.
So true. So if somebody is new and would like to get a first crystal,
Yes.
can you go a little deeper into how to choose your crystal?
Yes.
And is there a best way to work with the crystal?
Yeah. I think one of the ways, as I said before, is to be attracted by beauty, and then to touch the crystals that you're attracted to with the beauty of them. Feel them in your hand. Can you feel the energy vibration? And then find out what are the qualities of that crystal and why are you attracted to it? So if you go to a reputable crystal shop, they should have, I would expect them, we don't really like to use those words, but one would imagine that they would have a background of knowledge and they could guide you. Or come to someone like yourself who knows a lot about crystals, someone like myself, and look at the qualities of that crystal and then see, do I relate to that? So do I need a little bit more nurturing and compassion for myself? So if that was the case, okay, I might get some kunzite because I might feel a little bit anxious or might sometimes go into a depression. Kunzite, lovely pink kunzite would be very helpful for that. It's high in lithium. Lithium is known for its ability to ease stress, ease depression. You might get rose quartz. Rose quartz, the most nurturing, loving, and easily available, widely available crystal, and not too expensive. So I don't think you can ever have too much rose quartz. I have a lovely big piece in my garden, and all the birdies love it, the flowers love it, I love it. So finding out some qualities of the crystals you're attracted to and see if you can understand why you are attracted to them, that's also a really positive step in finding the crystals that are going to work with you best. Was there another part of your question?
What would you recommend to people who are new at working with crystals? How can they use it?
them,
What would be
yeah.
the best way for them to work with crystal energy in their lives?
Yeah. I think programming a crystal for a specific purpose, it's easy, it's effective. Hold the crystal in the non-dominant hand, put the dominant hand over the crystal, connect with the crystal using perhaps golden white light, bring it down from the cosmos, bring earth energies from the Great Mother up through the feet, meet at the heart, direct from the heart into the crystal, and program your crystal. I, Susie, program this crystal to assist me with my meditation, to become deeper so that I can connect with the wisest part of myself for guidance. But there's an example of how I could program a crystal for a particular purpose. And then I'd keep that crystal as a touchstone. So I would have it on my desk, I'd put it under my pillow at night, I'd put it in my pocket and touch it during the day. So have it as a companion. It doesn't have to be a big crystal, but it needs to be a good quality crystal. And even tumbled stones, you can find really good quality tumbled stones. So choose a crystal that you feel is of a high quality. So how can you tell a high quality stone? Some stones can be translucent, so that means that you can see through it. Some stones are created that way, something like tiger eye. So tiger eye isn't translucent, but you can tell a high quality tiger eye by the color and by the shine. And these are ways that you can tell if a crystal is of a higher quality. So that would be a great way to start. Another way to begin working with crystals and harnessing the healing properties of it is to have them around your bath, for example. I love that myself. So put some candles around your bath, put your crystals around your bath, and you could even put some crystals that like water in your bath. So for years, I've had a bath with nephrite. So nephrite is the New Zealand greenstone. It's also a form of jade. The other form of jade is jadeite. So nephrite is a dark green, and it's known to be the strongest crystal. It's known as the strongest crystal, whereas diamond is the hardest. Nephrite, it is said that the tectonic plates around the Pacific Rim around our area of the world, in Australia and New Zealand, have nephrite in them. And it's a very, very strong stone. It's a wonderful stone for supporting women. And so all women's issues, also supporting the lower back, all the feminine organs, all of the body functions that we have as a woman. So I've put nephrite into my bath nearly every day. I've been doing that for years, and I think that has really helped keep me strong.
Amazing.
So a couple of ideas.
Yes, I love a good crystal bath. It's just so
Yes.
grounding.
Yes.
And I know, Susie, we are both very into getting ethical source crystals. So
Yes.
if you feel so inspired to get your crystal, just see that you can get an ethical source crystal to really have a good quality and get the most out of it from
Yes.
these beautiful gifts of Mother Earth. Thank you so much for all your insights, for your wisdom, for
Thank
sharing.
you, Olivia. Thank you, Dan.
I think many are now very inspired to dive deeper into the crystal kingdom, to learn more about crystals. We will link all of your information in the show notes, so please have a look if you would like to learn more about Susie, if you would like how and where you can study with her. Look into the show notes, and yes, sending you so much love. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
And see you
Thank
soon.
you, Olivia.